live on Facebook. We're live everywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, live from Nerd Bacon HQ in Des Moines, Iowa, finally. This is the Level Up Lariat podcast brought to you by Bacon.com, the best place to game tasty, and the only podcast on the internet giving you news on video gaming and a bit of professional wrestling from the three baddest dudes on the planet.
Who
Write for a website based on a pork-based product. My name is Jeff, a.k.a. Jeff Roth.
I'm Dave the Watchman.
And I am Level Up Justin.
And we are live at twitch.tv/nerdbacon as well as Facebook on Facebook Live on the Nerd Bacon news and reviews and other ooze page. So welcome to all there. And, of course, if you're in the chat on either Twitch or Facebook, throw some questions in there. Say hi. We want to interact with y'all. We're here not just for our benefit, but for yours as well. So if you have questions about the gaming world or some professional wrestling, we are here to answer burning or some mild questions. So I have my eyes set on the Facebook chat. Dave is set on Twitch. Justin is here for eye candy. So,
woo!
Preferably none of your questions will be burning. I think you'll need to go see a doctor for that one.
Perhaps. Let me quickly make sure I'm hosting this on my Twitch page as well.
I am as well. I'm watching both chats and on SmackDown Watch, and which I mean we probably won't have much to talk about, and have our stories ready to go. So I won't be as eye candy as I
now last week I had some comments from last week. I had said how much Mountain Dew Baja Blast was the best seasonal Mountain Dew.
Oh,
and that Code Red is the best all-time Mountain Dew.
Oh, snap.
Neon Saxon, a friend of the show, came back and said that I was wrong and his choice was Livewire. He's just wrong.
I would say I drank a lot of Code Red back in the day. Back in my retail days, it was always a Code Red in the afternoon. And I got to say, Code Red was pretty fantastic. Mountain Dew is disgusting, but Code Red is the best.
Yeah, I was in high school when Code Red first came into existence. And I remember going across the street to the Quick Trip whenever I could just to get this big-ass bottle of Code Red. It was so new at the time, you know?
Yep.
But today, I've stepped my game up. So instead of the Baja Blast, instead of just the Code Red, I have...
I'm afraid.
Not Your Father's Mountain Ale.
Oh,
okay.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know if you had the Not Your Father's Root Beer, the Cherry Cola, whatever. There's even a Not Your Mother's Strawberry Rhubarb. I'm having a Not Your Father's Mountain Ale citrus brew. I've never had this before. This is a first time... I'm trying this. This is the first bottle
this
on
is an official
stream.
Jeff Roth tasting right here.
So if this is great, we got a sponsorship. If not, then I will throw up. So
you might throw up anyway.
We'll do Jeff Watch 2018 as the show goes on.
Yeah. I'll tweet later how I feel. But a small town brewery based in La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Yep.
Cheers.
I don't mind the Not Your Father's root beer, but if you drink a lot of it, it can be a little sweet.
How is it? What do we think?
What do we think?
I've definitely had worse citrus beers in my life.
Yeah.
This is not bad.
Okay.
The cherry one kind of feels like cough medicine a little bit. That's the best damn cherry cola. There's a little bit of an aftertaste to it that ruins me. This is not bad. I would drink this again.
Okay.
And thank God I got a 6-pack, so I better drink it 5 more times.
Do they have like a cream soda out yet?
I think they do. I actually think I believe they do.
And an orange one, and a cherry one.
The orange one is so good.
Yeah, the orange one is very good.
The orange one is the best.
There are so many kinds. There are so many brands of the best damn cherry, and there's the Mike's, and then there's the Not Your Father's, and there's the I'm forgetting one more that there's out there as well. That just like the root beer and the ciders and what have you.
Right.
So this is pretty smooth, all things considered. So
all right,
it works. Please give us money.
Sponsorship.
Also, Domino's Pizza. If you want to float any.
Oh snap!
Yeah.
Hey, if they're giving us money and food, I'm all for it. So
I have a feeling we're gonna have Domino's Pizza right around E3 time.
E3 and Evo will find places in Vegas that
I hope we find something more interesting to eat than Domino's Pizza in Vegas.
Well, all we had last year was Subway, because it was right there. It was the cheapest thing we could get.
That is true.
That's true.
Dude, I remember like that pizza place that was so. For those of you who don't know, Evo is the world's largest fighting game tournament. It's held every year in Las Vegas, Nevada, and the past couple of years it's been at the Mandalay Bay Convention Center, and then they had their Sunday finals in the big arena at Mandalay Bay. Anyway, for those of you who have never been, Mandalay Bay is conveniently connected through like this giant mall walkway. It's like the size of a regular shopping mall, at least here in Iowa. It's really awesome. It's like a two or three level shopping mall. They got a food court and everything. So the food court is pretty close to where the actual competition is. So we're looking. They've got a number of different options. They've got like a Chinese place. They've got a pizza place, and they've got Subway. And as Jeff said, we kind of just ate at Subway all the time because it was the cheapest option. Slices of pizza at the pizza place. This is like the equivalent to a Villa Pizza or a Sparrow for anybody over on the East Coast. Slices of pizza over this place, because of the Vegas inflation, are like $7 to $10 a pop, just for one slice of pizza.
Cow.
I know, it was ridiculous. And then we were standing in line for dinner one night for Subway meal number 3.
And, we overdosed on Subway.
Holy shnikes. And I'm watching these people, and they're buying like an entire pizza. Like they're filling up a pizza box worth of stuff. It's like they're buying a $55 pizza.
Yeah.
Just because that's all they could do.
It's like, do you know what I could go into the convention center and buy for $55?
Yeah.
That will last me a lot longer than this pizza.
Anyway, that's our expensive. I don't think I had a point to that story.
That Irish restaurant we went to that first night, that was actually not bad price-wise.
No, it wasn't.
We had meals, and of course we had our Guinness and Jameson and what have you, because when you're in an Irish pub, you do what the tourists do.
Right.
And it wasn't that bad. All that is to say, we got our flights booked, so we are.
That's right, we did.
So thanks to Dave and for booking our flight and our hotel. We are officially locked into our trip to Evo 2018. First weekend of August, the three of us will be there in full force with our credential passes ready to go. So I'm hyped. Like, the hype is now officially real because that happened. So
I know.
Dave,
I've been kind of holding back on hype a little bit till I actually booked it, but now it's ready.
Oh, the hype was so real Sunday night when we sent the message that you booked the trip, and it was like, we have flights, we have hotel. It's happening. It's really happening.
It's a real deal. So this is going to be fun. This is going to be Justin's first time, my second time, Dave's third time. So we'll have a little bit of everything going in. So,
gentlemen, we've got a question in the chat, actually. Cookie.
Oh, snap.
And welcome to the show, Cookie 6187. They want to know what's our thoughts on the Roman angle. I guess this is the Roman Reigns angle.
Justin, you're kind of keeping a closer eye on that than we currently are. What's Roman up to these days besides getting the mega push?
Has he learned a fourth move yet?
No.
The Uwa is his fourth move.
Oh, that's right.
The Uwa.
I guess I'm not paying as much of attention to it just because the last couple weeks of Raw have been so bad that I've kind of fast forwarded through a lot.
Really bad.
I haven't been watching either.
I mean, this past Monday he just had another altercation with Jinder Mahal. And Seth Rollins came to like his aid, and I don't know, like it's all things are leading to a feud with Jinder.
So are they trying to like put Roman and Seth together to then when Dean comes back at, let's say, SummerSlam, that then they can continue the Shield thing that happened before Dean got hurt?
I don't think so.
I
don't think so. I think they're leaning more towards having Dean return as a heel. I think their only reason they had Seth kind of get involved is just because, I mean, Seth doesn't have anything really going on right now because it was Seth versus KO in another like Intercontinental title challenge. So
how can he not have something going on being the Intercontinental champion?
For whatever reason, after he got it, and he has had some career matches recently. And so, ever since he had that really insane, like, Raw where he wrestled, like, some crazy amount of time, like, over an hour or something like that, in the, like, 2 matches he wrestled, they gave him the title after Miz drops it. He gets the title, and he's done just a couple open challenges, and 1 week was Mojo Rawley. Obviously, that went nowhere.
Oh god!
And then next week was Kevin Owens, which is
Kevin
great.
Owens. Right.
But I don't know if that's where they're going to go with it. And then it's kind of in a weird flux. So, really, it's Roman's feud is with Jinder Mahal right now. But even then, it's like, is it
this
really?
Feud seems weird.
So,
this feud seems weird because guys, I've turned the corner. I like Jinder. I really like Jinder, and so they're just feeding him to the wolves here, because there's no way Roman's losing to Jinder. There's no way that he's losing to Jinder.
Right.
So, are they stuck now? Like, are we at a point now where even creative doesn't know what to do with Roman Reigns?
I don't think
because
creative
you can't
knows
keep having
what to do in general. From the feedback that I heard about Bobby Lashley's sisters being on Raw last week.
Oh, it was God. It was 3 dudes dressed in wigs and women's clothing.
Which is so weird. This is so weird.
It was a really bad Raw. So
why is Braun Strowman not every champion? Like, just do that and then call it good. Him and Finn had a fantastic match, by the way.
Yeah, they had a match against each other this past week, and
it's good.
You got to prepare yourself now. You got to prepare yourself for the fact that since creative doesn't know how to treat Braun Strowman, he's pretty much going to be irrelevant by SummerSlam.
And that makes me sad.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I might tune out. Real quick, another wrestling news before we get to the meat of our podcast. The All In show, the Cody Rhodes and Young Bucks show, sold out in a half hour.
Yes.
That thing is going to be huge, and I wish I was in that waiting room, because that'd be a bomb show to go at. So, and by bomb is good, not bad bomb. Good bomb.
Right. I think the biggest wrestling news of the week, though, is SmackDown's going to move to Fox.
Yeah, so SmackDown will now be not property of, but they'll be on Fox TV, and they're going to go to Friday nights. The show that always keeps moving is going back to Friday nights.
Yeah.
And while I kind of see this, because you don't want to do wrestling overload in the front, because you've got Raw on Monday, SmackDown 205 Live on Tuesday, NXT on Wednesday, you're kind of front loading your week. So I can kind of see why they want to go back to a Friday idea. I feel bad for the cruiserweights here, because Friday nights, sure, it's not a school night, so kids might be up watching TV late, but what are people our age doing?
Right.
We're out drinking because it's the weekend. So
sure.
I'm a little nervous. Oh, also breaking, the Bludgeon Brothers will defend the SmackDown Tag Team Championships at Money in the Bank against the Club, Gallows and Anderson.
So what did WWE end up paying for that? Or what did, Fox end up paying WWE for that? It was like $1 billion or something?
$1 billion, I think.
It was quite big.
Vince is laughing at us while rolling around in money and shoving Roman Reigns down our throats.
But
their
I wonder,
stock price is climbing too.
Does 205 Live go with SmackDown to Friday, or do they stick on Tuesday? Maybe they get bumped to that Tuesday time slot, and they're going to get bumped up on Tuesdays. People actually can watch it at a reasonable time.
To the network only.
They should go back to Full Sail. They should go back to that kind of intimate setting.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I listened to a podcast, and someone said why this experiment's failing, and it's not the competitor's fault. It's just that everybody else on the roster can do the same thing. You can see a Seth Rollins or a Miz or Daniel Bryan or a Finn Balor doing the moves that the 205 Live guys can do. And there is no main roster kind of mixing with the cruiserweights, so it's really hard to take them on that same level, because WWE isn't even treated on that same level.
Right. It's kind of a dying,
cruiserweights.
Kind of a slightly dying breed. I mean, it's not dying, so to say, but it's like kind of a slight dying breed if you think about it.
I love the group match. Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali have put on phenomenal match after phenomenal match. Their match at WrestleMania should have been main card worthy.
Right.
But I don't know. It's sad, and you're seeing people when Neville bailed, when Austin Aries bailed, when Enzo got his issues, and you're seeing people leave that program. It's just going down and down. So I want them to get back into the good graces, but who knows?
Enzo's innocent, by the way. That was news this week.
Was that news?
Yeah.
Well, the charges were dropped. So
charges were. Yeah. Well, there was more to it than the charges were dropped. I guess I don't know. There was some weird stuff there. He's still kind of a tool, but whatever. They were, in the end, it is what it is.
Anyway, let's get to what's important in the world.
Yeah, so we are a website based on video games. So, goddamn it, let's talk about video games. Um, First and foremost, guys, kind of the big stuff from Sony.
Yes.
We may be closer to the next generation than we think, because Sony has come out and said we're nearing the end of the PS4 life cycle, which to me, when I first heard that, struck me as, really? It's only been, what, 5 years?
Yeah, we're at year 5 right now.
Yep.
2013. Hard to believe it's been 5 years already, but that's the case.
I'm pulling this off of the Justin gave us the agenda here, and
there's a couple different articles there.
Sony's management has told investors that it is now entering the final phase of the PS4's life cycle, with the company as a whole primed to focus on expansion of the PlayStation network. So basically, they're focusing on PS4 and PSN right now, reportedly until 2021.
Yes.
Guys, what do we think here? We're getting near the end of the PS4 life cycle already?
Well, that goes into the rumors that we've heard. I think reported by leaker Marcus Sellers. Stating that PlayStation 5 development kits are in the hands of a number of developers right now.
Right.
So
there
are a lot of moves being made, and it's really not surprising. He's signaling that we have hit the end of PlayStation 4. So I really believe PlayStation 5, or whatever it's going to end up being called, whatever shape or form it's going to take, I believe we're going to see that probably at the end of next year. It'll be whatever their fiscal year is next year.
And there's just so many questions then, because we're now, like, TVs are just getting into the 4K idea, and they're getting the 4K curved and the 4K LE, UH, LMNO, HD, whatever.
Right.
So that's still kind of a fairly new technology. Not everybody has the high-priced TVs because they are freaking high-priced. I don't have a 4K TV. It's too much money. Where can PS5 go from here? Because we just had the stopgap PS4 Pro, last year, 2 years ago, in that area?
Right.
And now TVs are not catching up yet. We're still in infancy of new technology. Why would Sony come out and say, "Hey, we're moving on"?
Well, so further into that story too, they said that according to Wall Street Journal reporter Takashi Mochizuki, who attended the event, Sony Interactive Entertainment, John Kodera, said that PlayStation 4 was entering its final phase, and they expect the unit sales are set to decline from here on out. And, if you think about it, most units, 7 years? You see, is that kind of a typical life cycle, about 7 years?
It used to be 5, and then the last generation was kind of an anomaly. It lasted 7 to 8 years, and I think part of that was because of the economic downturn that occurred back in 2008. That occurred right about the time you would have started seeing talk of the next generation. But because there was kind of a global depression at that point, they really couldn't justify talking about, oh, you don't have a job, but here's some new hardware. So they had to kind of put the kibosh on that for a little while. But I think what Jeff is saying is really, really poignant. How much better could a PlayStation 5 launching in 2019 actually be? We do have the Xbox One X that's out right now, the most powerful console in the world. So how much better conceivably could it be than that? And I think the answer is not much. And I think what he was saying about we're not really caught up with our TVs at this point yet, I think that's a really good point. I don't have any plans to upgrade to a 4K TV, so any new console I'm not going to be able to take full advantage of at this point.
Sure.
I hope somebody on Twitch clips that Dave said I had a good point twice in a row in that same sentence. So if you could clip that, and I can rip it back in Dave's face, that'd be great.
You don't have to put it back in my face.
Not only you guys right when you say like that the consoles are kind of almost like leading or going ahead and leading the charge, and we're just now getting into like the 4K, and you're just now seeing, just like when LED or LCD, LED, and all those were becoming popular, you're just starting to see like the 4K TVs start to have those price declines. You're starting to find some better deals, those kind of things. And like we said, we just had the incremental upgrades with the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X. And while the Xbox One X is the most powerful hardware on the market, once you get into these newer consoles, the only way I think they can become better isn't necessarily visually, is it just becomes more and more like a PC, and some of the hardware internals become more, become higher powered. You're maybe not going to see like graphical change as much, but maybe you do. I don't know. Maybe there's something out there we don't know about. Maybe there's like 12K or something. I have no idea. But
I've seen 5K. That's a thing. But at some point, like you were saying, we're getting closer to PC. At some point, when do you just buy a PC? Because in the long term, that will be cheaper. Because Justin, you just spent how much on your PS4 Pro?
I bought a PS4 Pro.
Not saying like trade or anything, but what's the MSRP right now for the PS4
Oh, right
Pro?
now, I mean, if you were to go buy one right now, it'd be $500.
Okay. So you just bought one for, let's say, $500. If they come out if Sony comes out in 2 years, pronouns pal. If Sony comes out in 2 years and say, hey, PS5 on sale,
right,
$450, $500, wouldn't you feel like I just bought this PS4 Pro? I'm not going to spend $500 more on a PS5 when you could conceivably in that $1,000 buy a PC and just upgrade a graphics card and be better off.
Right. No, you are right about that. And as someone who does have the upgraded hardware, and part of that was just me saving up and just trying to like kind of go all in and with this career move and doing more with the website and stuff like that. Obviously, if you take trading in things outside of it, like the incremental upgrades, they were never quiet or never hidden about like who they were for. They were for like the hardcore of the hardcore, so to say. So yeah, it is. It kind of feels like a slap in the face, but I think part of it is like Dave said, and Dave has made a good point too. Before this last generation, console life cycles were only about 5 years. This last generation being an anomaly is really kind of spoiled us a little bit. Like we kind of like, oh, we got these consoles for a little longer, and now we're seeing maybe a shorter life cycle. But I think there's more to that, which I think we're going to hit on here in the next few stories,
right,
on why they're also switching, because further
switch, yeah.
Hold on. There we go. So then more into that statement, it does say that Sony is emphasizing the importance of expanding the audience for the PlayStation Network.
Right. Bingo.
So there's probably
that's what's most important to them, and that's why Microsoft. See, Microsoft's plan was actually brilliant, and I just didn't see it because we just saw piece by piece what Microsoft was doing. I'll get to that in a moment. The reason that we're going to see PlayStation 5, which is
Clip that, by the way. Dave complimenting Microsoft. Clip it.
Oh, wait till you see my Microsoft E3 2018 game plan article, which will be coming out here in the next few days.
Woo!
Yeah.
I just want to give you a big hug and kiss.
Just wait. The reason Sony is doing that is because I think they're afraid at this point. They know that the PlayStation 5 is not going to be that much better than what can be done with PlayStation 4 Pro or Xbox One X.
Sure.
This is the final attempt to grab some cash before consoles are irrelevant.
And yeah, I mean, we are Jeff, again, we're just complimenting each other. Jeff's point of why not just go get a PC at that point? Well, we were just talking about how I just purchased a laptop, and I'm looking at gaming more on the laptop because I'll be able to do it on the go and stuff like that. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't love my Nintendo Switch, and I know that that's like, different than say the Xbox and the PlayStation 4. But even Nintendo's making strides in the direction of, streaming and doing more with having, a library of games that you can stream and play and have those and getting away from that physical title that you can just go and buy from the store, so to say. And so I think that's a big part of this is emphasizing importance on the networks, the Xbox Live and the PlayStation Network, because it's going to have to become better, because I think that's where you're going to get your upgrades. The internals on the PS5 and the Xbox whatever are probably going to be better in the sense of like memory and RAM and different things. It's going to make it better. Whereas you're going to see the physical games aren't gonna be as prominent, so to say. So I do appreciate that. And then just real quick, kind of off on a real quick subject here. Just wanted to say thank you or welcome to the chat, One Tap and Cookie, and then thank you for the 100 bits from One Tap.
Oh, thank you for the 100 bits.
Yeah, thank you very
Fantastic.
much. I missed that. I apologize. Oh, no, it's right there. I'm sorry.
There we go.
That is okay.
Justin, I think to go off of kind of answer my own question is why wouldn't you get a PC? The exclusives.
Sure.
I mean, you're not going to get God of War on a PC. You're not going to get Halo. Well, okay, you are.
So at this point, the reason, there's no secret for the reason I say that I really love what Dave is saying, and I'm excited to read what he's going to have coming out here soon. Is there's no secret that I did play Sony. I grew up as playing PlayStation, but I migrated over to Xbox, and I was a huge Xbox fan from the get-go, from day one.
Halo certainly helped.
Yeah, I mean, I played so many hours of Halo and different things like that. So, but like Dave is right, like the plan that they set in place, and really, again, ever since Phil Spencer took over, the plan they've put in place to going towards like the streaming and the Games Pass, for example, it's just setting up, it's future-proofing themselves. It's helping them get ready for the future.
Right,
exactly.
and what they're really trying to do is insulate themselves against the possibility that maybe Apple enters the market.
Well, right.
Maybe
and then
Amazon enters the market.
Right. And you're seeing...
And then the snowball effect begins, and Microsoft is saying, we're good.
Yeah, because
right.
how many games are you now seeing that are like Xbox Play Anywhere? And it's becoming more and more like, hey, it's our first titles, but I think first party titles, but you're going to see more of it, I think, going forward. But, for example, if you bought Cuphead, you could play it on your PC. You didn't have to buy Cuphead both ways, or Forza or something like that, So
and not only that, now you get new Microsoft AAA games for free if you have Game Pass.
Sure.
You get Sea of Thieves for free. I assume you would get what if you got Halo for free? What if you got Gears of War for free? Like these Microsoft games with Game Pass you're getting for free.
Right.
And I think Sony needs to, when the PS5 happens, they need to look at services like this, because the PS Now is not good. It's a neat idea, but it's too pricey. It relies on streaming, which
supposedly it's
never
gotten
did
better.
me well.
Yeah, supposedly it's gotten better. I haven't used it recently, but supposedly like you don't have any hiccups playing now. So obviously they're making strides already, but
if you really take a look at it, every company is making investments on streaming technology, and that's where the future is. The future. Hey, Nick Grow 2, what's up? But the future.
What's up, Nick Grow 2?
The future is streaming games, whether it's on your PlayStation 5 or on your tablet or on your Fire Stick. It's about that service. Now, I think where the consoles are heading in the future is that you buy a PlayStation so you could download your titles to the PlayStation and play them without streaming to it. But, But so that would be the advantage of having the dedicated Sony box. But other than that, the reason that I say that it's irrelevant is because everybody is making that investment in streaming, and that's where the future is going to be. So you're not going to actually have to own a PlayStation to be able to play God of War in the future. Right.
So let me segue off that, because we can talk about this the entire podcast. So we'll segue off of this. Real quickly though, if the next generation is sooner than we think, do they announce this at an E3 2019 or 2020? Or is it even past that? Am I too soon for them to announce a PS5?
Yeah, I think it's too soon to announce the PlayStation 5 at this point, but I think it's definitely... I would look for a February reveal event like they did with PlayStation 4 last time, and then a blowout at E3 2019, and then release later next year.
If they are committing to PS4 games and PSN until at least 2021, is that when we can expect a PS5 potential release year?
I think because they're saying that they're going to support the PlayStation 4 until 2021, I would not be surprised if you hear a reveal next year and see the system by the end of 2019 or the system sometime in 2020.
Okay. Well,
I don't think you hear anything this year. I think
it's just too soon.
I agree.
I mean, we're hearing this. And this is all we're going to hear this year is that, hey, the PS4 is on life support at this point. They're got a few years left in the tank before we start seeing PS5s. And yeah, it goes along with the fact that PS5 demo units are being sent out to developers. So it's happening sooner than many people would expect it, but
right,
it's happening. All right, let me segue off of this because talk about streaming.
Yay!
Speaking of streaming, one of the I guess more well-known gaming services was GameFly, and they would do streaming as well. They are now property of Electronic Arts. Guys, another big merger, another big purchase from EA. What do we think about this, and what could this mean for the big company everybody wants to hate, but really shouldn't? What does this mean now for EA going forward?
Well,
I mean,
go ahead.
I was just saying, I mean, I think it's the same thing. They're kind of future-proofing themselves and getting into the streaming world. I think we're starting to see we've all kind of been seeing it, but I think we're starting to see that these guys, as well as anybody else in the business, is starting to really just get into the streaming, because that's just where the industry's headed. So in the article that I had pulled, it says Electronic Arts announces acquisition of the cloud gaming technology assets and personnel of GameFly today. This was breaking news about an hour before showtime.
Right.
That's how cool we are, people. We give you the info immediately.
And just to stress, they didn't acquire GameFly as a whole, just the aspect, just the streaming aspects and those technical aspects of GameFly's streaming service.
Not the Netflix part of it, so to say.
Right.
Like the old school Netflix, like discs coming to your mail.
Right.
So it's the acquisition will likely open up, it says in the article, more possibilities for the company to expand its reach of games through the streaming to more players on more devices. The acquisition makes sense for EA considering GameFly launched a game streaming service back in 2015 through Amazon's Fire TV streaming box, which featured a console-like controller with gamepad. So, like you said, they just purchased the streaming part and the assets and the personnel for that. So is this we already have EA Access, for example,
right, which is exclusive to one console.
Yes, and it's a really nice service if you do have it.
Right.
Oh, it's great. Yeah,
EA Access is a great service.
It pays for itself in like 2 or 3 game purchases. You save 10% off everything.
So,
well, shoot, or if you wait if you wait just long enough, you get them and play them without paying anything but the service. So
you get the vault, which they put a bunch of games in the vault, and you can just play them for free.
So here's what's going to happen with this. They're going to roll the streaming aspect as part of another tier of subscription level into EA Access. But EA Access isn't just going to be on Xbox anymore. It's going to be anywhere.
Gotcha.
So think about this, and I just realized this while you were reading the story. Do you realize what EA has just done? They have just bought their way out of having to deal with any actual console.
Right.
EA doesn't need Xbox anymore. They don't need Sony anymore.
Nope.
They can stream anywhere.
Yep. They can still do an exclusivity deal, like with the game, if for example, like DLC first or something like that, which I'm against those, but that's besides the point. But they, like you said, they don't have to rely on Xbox Live and the service.
Buckets.
They now can be like, hey, if you want to play our game on PC, if you want to play our game on Xbox, PlayStation, or any other market that they can get their games on, they now can use this service, EA Access or whatever they call it,
right,
to give you the titles. And
you're not going to need a fancy computer to run this because it's just going to be streaming from a cloud-based server. So all of the
you do need pretty good internet though, but
you do need good internet. Right. But all the beefy graphics, graphics hardware and everything is on their end, and it's just beaming over to you. So think about this. Think about how much weight that EA has historically had in the console business. Like if EA is not supporting a console, that console kind of flounders, right? Historically,
the Dreamcast,
the Wii. Well, I guess the Wii didn't really flounder, but Wii U definitely floundered without EA Sports. Of course,
the Wii U floundered for many reasons.
Well, yeah. But think about this. I mean, if EA is not on a platform, then that platform does have trouble. But now EA has created the situation where they don't need all those platforms. They've just created their own platform. And so what happens to the rest of these publishers if EA is like, we're not going to pay royalties to Microsoft or Sony anymore, because all these companies have to pay royalties for every game. So EA, I'm sorry, my mind is just flipping out over what has just happened here. I'm just realizing that the paradigm shift.
We got a Lord in the background giving the side eye.
No, seriously, EA has just they've changed the game entirely. What does this do to every other publisher if EA is suddenly not going to be on a console anymore? What if EA says, all right, we're done with you, Sony. We're done with you, Microsoft. I don't think that that's what's going to happen, but we've created a situation where that is a possibility. What does that do to the rest of these publishers if the world's largest video game publisher is no longer going to be on a console? My mind is blown.
Or they could use this so that they can be on every console. I mean, they're not tied to one. They could just be for everybody. We could finally get those NHL games on a PC.
Sure,
because
we
had
most likely thing.
Which is, I know, is a kind of the baseline of what I want from EA. I get it, but that's a possibility. And yeah, this could be really cool. It's just a matter of, again, it's the streaming thing. I go back to PlayStation Now. I've never had a good experience with that, and the streaming has caused my game to freeze, has caused my games to stutter, has caused my games to not look really good, and I have really good internet. And it's a fact where, for EA games like a Battlefield or a Titanfall or whatever, I need to be able to rely on my frames, rely on the graphics, rely on the timing, so I can really enjoy the game. So it's a matter of, if they're going to do this, which, okay, I'm all for, but they got to do it right. Because this could be a make or break situation where if they tell everybody, all the consolers, hey, we don't need you, and then they have to tuck their tail between their legs and say, please take us back, it's going to look really bad on them.
Well, and I also wonder too if that also means that you will still, for like certain games. So let's use Battlefield for example. So Battlefield, let's say they're in it right now. EA access is everywhere, and you want to play Battlefield, but you want to play it competitively online. Maybe they have the ability for you to buy that or pay for like a license or something where you can download it and run and not have to worry about it. Sure. You know what I'm saying? Like Dave was saying, like you could download it on the PS5 or something when it goes forward. So essentially, they're allowing for you to run off of their servers, but you can also run off of your own if you so choose.
Right. Exactly. Wow,
buy physical for full price, or pay $20 a month for EA access, and this is part of your. I don't know. What is like a $40 worth? I mean, this to me, I want to be able to fully enjoy my game. I don't know. We'll see what this means. I mean, all we know now is that they purchased a portion of GameFly. What this means going forward, we don't know yet. It's breaking news. We don't know what's going to happen with this, but there are possibilities out there.
Final word on this, I would say the next move that I would watch for them to make an announcement in the near future, like within the next year, that streaming is coming to EA Access. And don't forget as well, that EA just bought the right, well, not bought, but they just agreed to let Warner Brothers publish games be on EA Access.
Right.
That's a huge thing. So now you've got Batman, which can be streamed to EA's platform. You got Mortal Kombat, Injustice, all that stuff. Like, oh my God.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I've already bought them all, so.
And that's just it. Going forward, it's going to a very digital realm. As much as that you can see over my shoulder right here, I have some games and stuff. I'm becoming more and more digitally ingrained into gaming in general. It's so much easier to have a game just right there, and I can just click and play. I know, I
don't gotta go to a GameStop. I can sit in my shorts or my boxers and just hit A and buy this game and download it, and I'm done. I don't need to deal with people. I don't need to deal with the stores, which are complete ass. I don't gotta deal with all the freaking here, buy these keychains and these T-shirts, and please, oh my God, buy something.
Those keychains are awesome.
Oh my God, here we throw these subs and reserve IDs at you. No, stop it.
What about Game Informer?
You want Game Informer? Oh, no, Justin, continue. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, you're good. I think that's what we're all saying is we're right on the cusp of something big, something where it's going to change. But even go back to the anniversary for the Xbox One reveal like 5 years ago. It was yesterday, I believe.
Yeah.
And people were talking about making a joke about how that was the most important day in the life of PlayStation 4 or whatever. So, while that's funny, but you look at some of the things that even though Papa Phil wasn't necessarily leading the charge, right, they were talking about things then that we're doing now.
Exactly. The market just wasn't ready for it at that point.
So, had the market been ready, now I'm not saying that Xbox didn't botch their launch. They did. We all know that. But had the market been ready, we could be looking at a totally different market.
Yeah, absolutely. But we're about to see that original dream from 5 years now become fruition.
Yes. Yeah. Very interesting.
Let's continue with the theme is stream tonight.
Okay.
Like I pulled that off out of my ass. Yes.
The theme is stream.
I took improv classes. All right. The theme is stream because Resident Evil 7 cloud version was announced for Nintendo Switch. What this means is that Resident Evil 7 / Biohazard Resident Evil, whatever country you live in, cloud version means it's coming to Switch. Obviously, is what that means. But so the title will be released exclusively on the Japanese eShop this week. So not in the States. Sorry.
Right.
And will only be playable via the cloud, which means you have to be connected to the internet to play this game. There is no box copy of this. It is you buy it from the eShop and play it via the cloud. So you have to be hooked up to the internet at all times.
Remember, you can create a Japanese profile. People were doing that when the Switch first launched and buy or whatever. Yeah.
Right.
So it requires internet to play Resident Evil 7, yes. And it's again going into what we've been talking about. The games are going toward streaming only, or primarily streaming, I should say.
Well, let me dive into a little bit.
Of streaming and digital downloads.
Right.
Yes,
so let me kind of read from the article here. Resident Evil 7 Cloud will include all 4 DLC packs released on console and PC, thus making it a complete collection for the 7th iteration of the series. Players can experience the first 15 minutes of the game for free, but will be prompted to buy a 180-day service pass if they want to keep playing past the trial period. So you can get a taste of it for 15 minutes and get the crap scared out of you because that game is freaky as. But you then have to buy basically a time card, kind of like if you're paying a monthly subscription to World of Warcraft or something. You're buying a 180-day service pass.
I don't know how I feel about that.
That is also weird to me. But pricing is currently set at 2,000 yen, which is roughly translated to about $18 American in American money.
Okay.
Save files will also be stored in the cloud rather than the console itself. Capcom has stated that save files linked with inactive accounts may be subject to deletion. That seems weird because this might set a really kind of bad precedent.
I don't know
how I feel about this.
I don't like the economics of it, but it's still technologically it's a really important experiment for not only Capcom but for getting other titles onto the Switch.
Well, here's what bugs me is that what is the what is kind of the main draw of the Switch?
Portability
on the go.
Let's just say you don't have Wi-Fi where you are. You're screwed. You cannot play this game on the go, which is the whole point of the Switch.
Right.
But it's still nice to be able to have that option to play because maybe you're in your hotel and the hotel's got Wi-Fi, so you can play Resident Evil 7 in your hotel room. There's plenty of places that have Wi-Fi.
Right.
Sure.
We're going towards a Wi-Fi, essentially a globally Wi-Fi world where essentially going to be Wi-Fi everywhere you walk. You walk down the sidewalk and there's Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
But I don't like the economics of this at all because we're talking about streaming and games going to a streaming or digital copy only kind of service. But if I want to play, let's just use a game that's going to come out later this year that I know I'm going to get. Spyro Collection. It's going to come out.
That's the game you went with?
Yeah, that is actually, because I was looking at the picture of Spyro. So anyway, let's say, but like, okay, if I would have said a different game, it might have been a bad example. The reason I say this one is because this is a game that you buy to play on your own. You're not playing for multiplayer, right?
Sure.
So you don't need like extreme servers or extremely high tech to play that game. So what if this is if it's the same title, but I had to pay $18.01 or 2,000 yen to play for 6 months, and then I couldn't play it after that?
Yeah.
That's essentially what it's saying, right?
Yeah, that's what it's saying.
Because Resident Evil is a single player experience.
Well, it's an important experiment, but it's again, it's a really good indication maybe of what Nintendo's online service is going to look like in about a year.
It could be, yeah.
This really just bugs me. This really just doesn't feel right to me because they could make a cartridge, and they've done this before.
I don't think
they being Nintendo, like this game would sell on Switch, but
here's
like they have cartridges that are too big for the SD cards, and just say buy another SD card. This thing would sell if you put it out there in physical form.
Well, you can't really put a game out there at this point where you have to tell the consumers you have to buy an extra SD card for that, because you're dividing your consumers between those who are going to go out and buy that SD card and those who aren't.
And there are games out there.
They've got cartridges that are coming down the pipeline that are going to be like 64 gigabytes in size. A Nintendo Switch cartridge that's 64 gigabytes. They're just being held up right now in manufacture. So there are a lot of developers that are really upset about this, but there's really nothing that they can do. So this is a really viable solution for being able to get a game like Resident Evil 7 on the Switch.
Right.
I've heard rumors of Final Fantasy 15 eventually coming to the Switch. Who knows what we'll see, but
Grand Theft Auto 5.
It's going to be interesting to see whether, as we move forward, whether we see other publishers try to take that initiative and take on the infrastructure themselves, or if Nintendo tries to build some sort of infrastructure where they can go out and say, hey, bring your game over and we'll get it onto a cloud-based server and have it on the online service in the future. I don't see Nintendo doing that. Historically, they just say sink or swim to everybody, but who knows? They need something at this point to compete with what's coming down the pike.
I mean, you're talking about alienating them without SD card. We're kind of doing that here, because then you gotta spend $20 every 6 months, and it's. I mean, you're basically paying a subscription every 6 months to play a game that you can play on a PC for not every month or.
I think that's an anomaly, though, too. You're paying for it when you're ready to play it. When you're not wanting to play it, then you don't have to pay for it. Like, look at all the games that we have in our backlog. Are we playing all those games?
Resident Evil 7 is in my backlog.
No, but
right. And are you playing that constantly? No. But you paid like $60 for it, $70, whatever.
Sure.
So what if you paid just a little bit less to play that game just when you wanted to play it?
Right. I like that aspect of it.
Yeah.
I will say, when it comes to that, I like that aspect of it. It's because like, hey, let's say Titanfall 3 comes out, and I love the first two, so I know I'm going to play it when it first comes out. So I'll buy a 6-month subscription, but 4 months goes by, or 4 months later, 4 months in, I'm not really playing it as much, and I've moved on to something else that I don't have to necessarily renew.
Yeah,
now,
that's kind of cool.
Right, that is, and you can save money in that aspect, but I don't necessarily think this is going to be how it's like for everything, but it may be like a Nintendo type thing. Like we were saying, it could be how Nintendo runs like their online service or part of it.
Yeah.
But, I think that there's still going to be the ability to pay for a subscription or buy, like you said, a license, or buy, a game or whatever digitally, and still be able to play it whenever you want.
But it's just, it's going to have to be streamed, because Nintendo doesn't have the internal stuff to actually house the game on the system.
Right, and there already are games that require. I think NBA 2K, the newest one of those, requires a memory card, for example. Right. So in order for you to play that game, it says right on the box, requires SD card. If you don't buy one, you don't play that game. it just doesn't work. So, I mean, they already have you've already seen that. I think there'll be some changes when it comes to Nintendo's hardware, and that's going to get more into like some E3 predictions and stuff too. But that's later.
The one thing about those is that nice job, nice toss, Lauren.
Go, Lauren!
The one thing about that, all those games, you could play better versions of those games elsewhere. It's not like it's not like they're putting out Mario Party 11,000 and you have to buy this. No, because you can play LA Noire and WWE 2K. Don't play that game, and NBA 2K and all that stuff. You can play those games on other consoles, not worry about the SD card, and just say screw it because they're better versions.
Right.
It's. This is weird, but this will be a weird thing if it works. Weird thing if it doesn't work. We'll see. Resident Evil is a big name. Resident Evil 7 is a big game from a big name, and it's not sucky. So we'll see how people respond. Again, it's in Japanese eShop this week. And of course, if you have a Japanese account, you can buy it in the States. Good luck on the localization. Don't know if that's going to be turned out properly, but I'm sure you can find a translation guide out there. But we'll see. We shall see if that works. Because if it works over there, it's coming over here. All right. Let's Dave, I want to get your opinion on this because we're talking about Best Buy now.
Oh boy.
Now, of the three of us, you were the one that I don't know if Justin had this or not, but I know Dave had the Best Buy Gamers Club, Gamers Club Unlocked.
Yeah, Dave and I were talking about that the other night actually when we were kind of shooting some stories back and forth.
So Best Buy is ending the Gamers Club Unlocked program. Yes. According to a leaked memo posted by Wario64 on Twitter, which we could count on this one. The Gamers Club gave discounts, trade-in credit, and more on many of the video games sold at their retailer. For a 2-year membership fee of $30, Gamers Club Unlocked gave members 20% off new games and pre-orders. Also offered 10% bonus trade-in credit and 10% off a pre-owned. Hello, pop-up ad. Don't want to get to you. But Best Buy told employees in the memo it is discontinuing the program along with the free Gamers Club membership for a variety of reasons. Dave, how do you feel about this? I know you use this thing frequently and try to get us to use it because you're a shyster.
I just started using it.
I'm not a shyster.
Yeah.
Just give it busted balls.
I hate seeing people have to pay full price for anything.
It's
horrid to me.
I just enrolled in this program in January.
And good for you. Mine was last November.
You're good until membership is to renew. So it's not like it's ending right now. It's a matter of when your membership is supposed to renew, then it won't.
Right.
So when Dave and I were talking the other night about it, we weren't like he was saying like we weren't 100% sure if it was going away, and then I was like, I think it is, and then I called Best Buy and was like, hey, I just acted like I was somebody new. I was like, hey, do you guys still sell the Gamers Club thing? And I want to enroll. And they said the message to me was we are no longer accepting new members into the Gamers Club program, and it's being discontinued. That was from some Joe Blow guy that I talked to over the phone at Best Buy.
Yeah, so it's definitely real.
So,
although I find it very interesting that Best Buy hasn't emailed any of its customers about this.
Right. Yep. As we both are one, right? And I went to Best Buy and started doing business with them more and more because it was more beneficial to me. I paid it's like $15 a year, so $30 for the 2-year thing, right? And so $30 for the 2 years, and then it essentially pays itself back once you pre-order and you get that percentage off and some of the cool things.
It pays for itself back in like 3 games. If you buy, you're going to buy 3 games in 2 years.
Yep.
So it was a wonderful, excellent. It was like the best deal in all of gaming. Pretty much.
Do you think it was too good of a deal and people were losing, like big companies were losing money and didn't make financial sense, and this is kind of the big reason why, and people were using other people's accounts, and
I think those could be factors. I don't think that was the overlaying ending. I think it has more to do with the streaming that we're going to.
Right.
There's been rumors that some Best Buy employees have been told that this is going to be rolled into their Total Tech Care or something that they have now, or Total Care, that there's still going to be something. But Dave brought up a really good point, and I'll let him kind of talk about it, but something about their gaming magazine that the Best Buy had.
So yeah, also over the weekend, the editor of the gaming magazine, I can't remember the name of it, but Best Buy actually had a Game Informer type magazine. Right. And their editor-in-chief posted something on Twitter saying he was stepping down after 10 years and it had been a great ride and everything. So I find that really interesting that their gaming magazine seems to be kind of going away at the same time that Gamers Club, the best deal in all of video games, is going away. I've got a theory.
Oh, okay.
My conspiratorial mind has a theory, and that theory...
Sit back and enjoy.
No, I think this is a good one. This is a good theory.
What have we been talking about? We've been talking about the future of gaming and how that's moving to a digital streaming type thing. I believe that they have been told the plans by one of the players in the console manufacturing business. They've been told the next generation plans. Either Sony or Microsoft has told them their plans. And those plans include a discless console.
That's hard to say.
I know, it's hard to say without getting X-rated, but I firmly believe that it's probably Sony, since they seem to be the closest one to actually launching. I am willing to bet money that the PlayStation 5 is not going to have a disc drive. They may come out with 2 SKUs where, the deluxe version has a disc drive for physical media and then the base one doesn't. But the bottom line is that if Sony is probably not going to have a disc drive in their PlayStation 5. And I say Sony just because they, like I said just a second ago, I think they're the one that's going to launch sooner. Microsoft, I don't think is coming out till 2020, 2021, somewhere in there. But think about that. If Sony, the undisputed leader in the console wars right now, if they were to come out with PlayStation 5 and say, and we're going all digital media on this, what does that do to retail? Talk about a huge earthquake paradigm shift. There's no need for Gamers Club because you can't go into Best Buy and buy a game off the shelf to play on your PlayStation 5.
Well, do they go the route of you buy cards that have codes on them, and then you put that code into PSN? Like if you don't have a PSN account maybe, or you don't have.
You could do that, but who's gonna make the trip to Best Buy and say, hey, I'm gonna buy this card off the shelf? I might do it if I get 20% off, but you're gonna see a huge drop off in sales of video gaming. And the reason that I wonder about this, could it be as dire as this, with Best Buy seemingly shutting down their gaming magazine? If there's no physical games to sell from PlayStation, and then Microsoft will follow down that same route, if there's no physical games to sell, then there's no reason for a gaming magazine. There's no reason for Gamers Club. There's no reason for Best Buy to carry video games anymore. They may carry consoles, but I don't even know if they would do that, because traditionally consoles don't have really any margin to them. Retailers don't make a dime off of consoles.
Well, let's kind of look at something too that I think is kind of a really cool. At first, when I first seen it, I'm like, this looks stupid. But then the more I look at it, look at the new coming, the reimagining, the relaunching of the newest Atari box. It's a discless box.
I saw one of those. I'm like, I kind of want one, but I kind of
don't. Okay, it's kind of weird, but it's a discless console.
Sure.
Okay.
Cartridgeless console.
And a lot of people have already came down the pipe and said, is this mean it's going to be strictly like a streaming only? And people would question it when it was first kind of revealed. Well, now we're seeing it, and the possibility of having the next PlayStation, the next Xbox be streaming only is very real. The fact that you could see these companies who have been around and like Dave said, if they get rid of having, the physical copies, Best Buy is, and not only just Best Buy, but Target and Walmart, they won't have that section anymore. Now, while it's cool to go check out that section if you're at the store and whatever and kind of see what's there, but you're going to, that market's going to go away. So then do they sell codes? But like Dave said, or cards, if you can just buy it from the comfort of your own home, the only thing would be a deal, like a Gamers Club or the Total Tech Care or whatever it is that Best Buy could roll it into. Maybe, just maybe, there's still something there, but then you get 20% off, but you have to buy the card. It has the code. You get the code home. You download the game, because you can technically buy codes from places like GameStop and Best Buy now too.
Sure.
You can buy a digital copy.
You can buy Microsoft points or PSN points or whatever. It's just buy here's $50 of Microsoft money for $40 because
you can even
right now.
Even at GameStop and Best Buy, if I walked in and said, "Hey, I want to buy God of War digitally," I believe you can purchase it and it will print a code on your receipt.
Sure.
Yes, I believe so. Yeah.
So I mean, we're already like taking leaps and bounds that way. So if that's the case, and you see physical media disappear. The only one, even Nintendo going back to like a cartridge, I think that was just a stepping stone to going back. Not only is it because it's portable and whatever, but going a stepping stone into going to that digital realm.
Yeah,
because
sure. And my biggest concern, but sorry, Justin, but my biggest concern. Hi, Kyle. Kyle's in the Facebook chat. Want to say hi to Kyle?
What's up, Kyle?
Hi, Kyle.
My biggest concern, if we do go with a PS5 that does not have a disc drive, okay, fine, then you better have a damn good hard drive in there if all you're going to do is digital, which only means the price is going to go whoop.
Right.
Well, the price on hard drives isn't that bad right now. I would expect a 2 terabyte drive in the PlayStation
which is at
5
least what?
Right.
$500-$600?
Well,
a 2 terabyte drive? No, it's like
200.
Well,
you're talking
for a 2 terabyte drive.
Wait, you're talking about 2 terabyte
to 40. No, it's like $40.
No,
you're talking about
it's not.
Hold on, you're talking about 2 terabyte with the console, like in the console.
Right.
Then you're talking like right now you're saying a 1 terabyte like PS4 Pro would be $500, sure, but like a 2 terabyte PS5, which is realistic, could end up still only being $500 because are they really going to spike the prices? And they could. I'm not saying they won't, because the further and further we get, the closer and closer, like I said, are we seeing the Xbox and the PlayStation getting to looking like a PC.
$70, Dave. Let's go. $70. I'm finding right now on 2 terabyte hard drives. But I'm saying
I bought my 4 terabyte hard drive for $80.
Okay, it was a good deal. Okay, fine. But like you put in the terabyte the couple terabyte hard drive. You put in the you put in all the graphics processors and everything in there. The price on that thing is going to be pretty steep at some point.
It could be, but just like everything, just like LED TVs, just like 4K TVs, those things are going to drop in price too.
Yeah, and if you take the disc drive out,
then those
some money there. If you don't have a CD, slash DVD slash Blu-ray drive in there, that's saving you, $50 to $70 on manufacturing costs. So,
that's tech that you don't have in there now. The only thing is that you have a system like Xbox or Microsoft. Phil Spencer came out and said, going forward, you will be able to play all older generations going forward. So you're going to be able to play 360 games on Xbox One, and then Xbox One games and 360 games on Xbox 2 or Xbox whatever, Infinity or whatever the next one's called.
Yeah.
So maybe there is still a disc drive.
Vengeance, Xbox Revolutions,
Xbox Melee. No, I'm just kidding.
Xbox Reloaded.
So then you still might see, a disc drive still implemented in that aspect, and we don't know if Sony's gonna do backwards compatibility. Shoot, they still don't even let you change your PSN name, but that's neither here nor there. That's all I'm saying is that I think that would be the only way that they would want to keep it. But Dave's right. You take that out, you take the tech out. There's where you save some money. Then you have a stream box, or maybe different SKUs. One has the disc drive and one doesn't, like we said earlier in the show.
Yeah, but I don't know. With Best Buy abandoning Gamers Club like that, I would watch other retailers and see what they start doing with their video game systems.
Right.
Or
you see
Amazon.
Sections. Amazon slowly kind of dipping away from the 20% that they were doing. Like certain ones were getting it, and then you used to be able to still get the 20% even after the game launched, like a week or two. Now that's gone, and now not every pre-order will get you 20%. It's really weird with what Amazon that's going on with Amazon right now. So, yeah, I mean, you might see that disappear altogether.
Yep. All right, let's put a kind of a bow on this because we're getting this is good stuff.
Yeah. What I'll say with the bow on that is take a look at who supplies Sony's chips and everything like that. Their manufacturers. Start taking a look at their financial reports and what they're expecting in the next year or two, and that's going to give you an indication. If you don't see any orders for, disk drives or anything like that, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
All right. Let's talk about some games. We got some game announcements.
Some games. We have games.
Some games.
We play some games.
One of the biggest names in video games. They got Black Ops 4 got revealed recently.
I think this is
yeah. Justin's already got some heat. So just as we suspected, and just as it was announced, there's no proper campaign mode, but there will be a battle royale mode called Blackout. Justin, go ahead. The floor is yours, Justin. Go nuts.
I mean, let me preface this by saying this. Call of Duty is the franchise we love to hate, but it every year sells insanely well. It's like when people say, I don't eat McDonald's, yet McDonald's sells like millions of hamburgers every day. So obviously somebody's eating McDonald's every day. So Call of Duty is the game we love to hate, but it still sells really well. Black Ops 4 was revealed as we all knew it was. We already knew it was revealed, but the release date, the details were revealed. Real quick, talking about this. So the fourth installment of Call of Duty Black Ops franchise has abandoned the single player in favor of a multiplayer focus, including a battle royale mode. Yes, the series is cashing in on the last player standing mode made popular by Fortnite and PUBG, but it's also got more zombie experiences and traditional multiplayer content. And just like Destiny 2 before it, if you have a PC, Activision's latest game will run online play through Blizzard's Battle.net platform.
That's so weird.
And the game is slated for release on October 12th.
It's so weird seeing Call of Duty appear next to World of Warcraft and Overwatch.
Yes.
I'm like, no, I'm just getting used to it. Why is Destiny? No. Why?
Right.
Crap.
Let me say this. I have not been excited for a Call of Duty game probably since Modern Warfare. I'll even say 4, but for sure 2. And I'm really excited for this. I was a little skeptical without having the campaign there because I would play. I was one of the few that would play it. I was listening to one of the Kind of Funny games. I think it was Kind of Funny Gamescast, and they were talking about the stats that were coming out were showing that less than 2% of people that start a campaign or a single player game actually finish it. So it's something crazy like that.
Wow.
Yep.
So the fact that they ditched it doesn't mean it's completely gone. In the press conference, because I did get to watch it, they did come out and say that if you're a single player, you still will be able to play this game, and they're going to make it so it's fun for you. It's not just like they're going multiplayer only. If you want to play multiplayer, if you want to play zombies, if you want to play the Blackout mode, which is the Battle Royale, it's all there. It's going to be the biggest game they've ever released, biggest maps they've ever had. There's 3 different zombie experiences. I mean, it's kind of just all-encompassing. So I'm actually really excited for this, and I didn't think I would be because I haven't really been playing any of the Call of Duty games recently, but I'm kind of digging this because it's not just a normal Call of Duty game.
Sure. Now, I have played a good chunk of World War II, and I love the multiplayer experience of World War II, so I'm like, okay, now I can get rid of the jetpacks and just focus on World War II.
I watched you stream that as well.
But thank you. Twitch.tv/Jeff Roth. Cheap plug.
Cheap plug.
But I've yet to touch the campaign. I bought that game around Christmas. I have yet to touch the campaign.
And the campaign is supposed to be great.
From what I heard, it's really good.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this too, but I'm still a little weirded out that they're calling it Black Ops 4 as if to continue the story from Black Ops, and it's not. It should be called something different. I mean, obviously they put Black Ops on it because it will sell. That's just printing money by saying Black Ops. It's like saying Star Wars. It will sell money.
Yes. What they did say, what they said is that it doesn't. Right as you said that, I scrolled down in the article. It says Black Ops 4 doesn't have a traditional campaign. They are weaving narrative into each of its modes. That doesn't necessarily mean anything yet to me, other than the fact that there's going to be stuff there.
Yeah.
They're pulling things from 10 years of Black Ops games, so your favorite characters, your favorite weapons, your favorite tech.
Quick, who's your favorite Black Ops character?
I have no idea.
Great. See, that's my point.
That's right. And I thought the same thing. I'm like, well, I don't remember like really who I liked from Black Ops, but it's the reason they're doing it is because like Fortnite, where you have different characters, you're going to be able to buy or purchase in some way, shape, or form different skins, and they're the different characters, I'm sure, and different things they can wear. But it's really cool that they are at least going back and bringing stuff from the older franchises. It is more boots on the ground. There's no jetpacks and stuff like that in this one either. I think there's like a grappling hook, but that's really it. So I watched a little bit of some gameplay, some like pre-alpha stuff. It looks really fun. The other thing I want to say about this, and this is something that I think is really, really cool, is that this isn't just a stereotypical Call of Duty game. And the reason I say that is it's not just your stereotypical, like you have 100 health, it's a twitch shooter, you get shot, you die. It is you have 150 health, your health does not regenerate. You have to find a health kit or a stim pack. You have to, there's also going to be, what did I say? There's going to be different, what's the word I'm looking for? Like classes, specialist classes. So you have your medic, you have your tank, for example. I mean, I don't know what they're going to call them, for example, but it's kind of going on that Overwatch, or in this case, kind of leaning more towards Rainbow Six Siege.
Right. Yeah, they did specifically name drop
right,
Rainbow Six Siege.
Yes.
Say hi to your folks, Justin, by the way.
Hey, what's up? How's it going?
They're just in chat. Just want to make sure you said hi.
Oh, hey, what's going on?
So I got to be your guardian here.
Thanks for watching.
Go ahead.
But no, it's really going to be a different experience. It sounds like that people are, they claim it doesn't matter if you're a new person that's playing or a new gamer, if you're an old, that you're going to be able to watch or you're going to be able to play and you're going to have a good time. But I think it also adds a different layer to it where, like, when I watched you play, for example, I think you're playing World War II, you were running around, you get shot, you respawn, you run around, shoot some people, get shot, you respawn. Now there's a little bit more to it. You do have to have those classes and work together. It's kind of going to that teamwork. It also lends itself really well to esports.
Right.
So,
right. And I tell you, I'm looking forward to seeing how Activision handles the Battle Royale. I mean, we've seen how PUBG Corp did PUBG. We're seeing how Epic did Fortnite. We're seeing how some smaller companies are kind of on the outskirts. But I want to see how a big company with multi-millions worth of dollars bills, y'all, can put together a Battle Royale mode. Can they take the skeleton of a PUBG and make it this multi-million-dollar thing? That really interests me.
Well, to me, I think the bigger question is, are they going to be successful with this transition to Call of Duty as a game as service? Because that's what this is all about.
Right? Yep.
It's not about putting a Battle Royale mode on there. That's, a fad, and that's going to be done, in a couple of years. But game as service, that's the future of gaming.
Of gaming, right.
Right. And it's going to take little increments to get a player base as huge as Call of Duty on board. So this is more of the frog in the pot scenario where you can't put a frog in a boiling pot of water because he's going to hop out. You got to put him in and then slowly turn up the heat. So that's what they're doing with this.
You must kill him.
Yes. Well, and I do think you're right, and I think not only that, but this also allows them time if they wanted to release maybe an episodic campaign.
Yep.
Or even campaigns in parts or however they want to do it. That they could do that technically. It doesn't have to completely go away. If they have enough need or want for it, it may come in that different way. But everything they said it's going to be 1,500 times bigger than Nuketown. So if you're familiar with Nuketown, it's a pretty big map. And then you're going to be able to play, for example, in the Battle Royale mode, there's going to be vehicles by land, by air, and by sea. I don't know.
Wait, Nuketown's big? No, it's not. It's not that big.
It's big enough when it's 1,500 times bigger.
Well, when you do that, yeah, but Nuketown itself is not that big because I think shipments even bigger than that.
Sure. So, but I'm thinking, you think about it, and it's like, if this is going to be the biggest map, what is it compared to is it going to be just a straight up 1v99, like the 100 people mode? Are they going to have other things? And I'm sure there'll be other types, like the Infinity Gauntlet, being in Fortnite and stuff like that.
Right. Well, I know exactly where we're going to see more of that. And in a few weeks at E3 2018,
Yes, we will.
You will see a lot more about Call of Duty Black Ops I.
Oh, the logo I also noticed is one big I, and then it comes to a V. So it's like they broke the I up into 4 eyes, and then it also is a V.
Right.
I don't know. I was looking at that and I was like, it's still a stupid logo, but now I see it. I guess
I didn't notice that. I gotta look that up now.
If you take the 4 eyes and you are pressing them together, it's shaped like a giant I, and the bottom is a V. So I guess you get that.
Yeah, whatever.
Also, want to give a few shout outs. Like let's see, we had Mitch, Lori, and Miranda watching on the Facebook chat. Just thank you guys for tuning in, because it's kind of weird that it shows that like somebody's actually watching, but just want to give them a shout out since they actually tuned in.
Hashtag woot! All right. Another war game that got announced actually will be revealed tomorrow officially.
Yeah. Yep.
Battlefield 5, and believe it or not, they're using a V. So Battlefield,
doing it right.
Yeah. So that's just the logo out there. It could be different tomorrow for all we know. So they're going Battlefield 5. So now we're not going Battlefield 2. That game already exists.
Right.
So we're going from Battlefield 1 with World War 2, World War 1, World War 1.
So Battlefield 1, well, from Battlefield 4 to Battlefield 1 to Battlefield
5.
Are you sure it's 5 and not V?
It could be V.
It could be Battlefield V.
It could be V, because there has been some rumors that
I think it's Battlefield V for victory.
It could.
Here you go.
V for victory or V for Vietnam?
So there's a live reveal tomorrow.
Yes.
But I'm on the EA site right now, and there's 10 things to know about. I'll briefly go through these. A new Battlefield, which is a new experience, and still everything you love about Battlefield, whatever that means. In a new setting. So you got the World War I experience with Battlefield 1. The next Battlefield happens on another front line. That's all they're saying. It's another front line.
Yeah.
We might be going into some mech combat. That would be dope to me, because
Vietnam.
Was Battlefield 21? I forget what it was called, but the game wasn't great, but it was a cool idea. And if we're going into Battlefield 5 being mech combats, yes.
Yeah, but how would you feel if they did that? And then Titanfall.
Right. I mean, we don't know that Titanfall 3 is going to for sure happen,
because Respawn's now working on Call of Duty.
That's right.
Right. Oh yeah, we didn't really mention that, but yeah, not all of them, but yeah.
So they'll have DICE team members there talking about the Battlefield 5 vision, large-scale multiplayer in the next Battlefield, but Battlefield 5 takes it to the next level. Multiple maps and modes. That's going to be huge. New mode, experiences, gameplay changes. Trevor Noah. Return of War stories. So you can watch the live stream on the Battlefield homepage and the YouTube and Twitch and Mixer. It's all it's all /Battlefield on Twitch, on Mixer, on YouTube.
What time?
And they will be streaming
tomorrow
that at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. So our time will be 3 o'clock Central.
Yes.
So if you're on the East Coast, 4 o'clock.
I am off work at 2:15. Maybe I could do something with it.
There you go.
Maybe.
Look, I really enjoy. I really am a big fan of the Battlefield series.
Yep.
At 21, I'm gonna, but I can't remember the year of that Battlefield game. Wasn't great, but it was still fine. Battlefield 1 I loved. I think 3 I loved. 4 was fine for what it was. I'm excited for a future Battlefield. If they go into the future and we do lasers and mech combat and all that stuff, I'm interested.
Frickin' lasers.
It's Battlefield. I'm already interested.
Yeah, Battlefield never went really too far into the future.
21. I pull my origin and find out.
Right. I mean, but like these like numbered series, like 3 and 4 were more, like modern, so to say. So I don't know. Maybe it's gonna, they've already kind of hit on like a World War III scenario, I guess. I don't know if they're gonna do that. Maybe Dave's right. Maybe it's Battlefield V. Maybe it's like for like. I say Vietnam is not being completely serious, but maybe it's something like that. I don't know. There was a real small clip. I think it's on their Instagram page. I don't know where else I've been able to find it. And it's like a 2-second clip of like somebody like, it almost sounds like they're strangling or covering somebody's mouth and from the game. So Take from that
It's
what you
always
will.
pleasant.
You have to find it, but
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, so you're gonna catch the live reveal tomorrow on their YouTube page, Twitch page, their Mixer page. It's all /Battlefield at 4 o'clock Eastern. They'll dive into what Battlefield 5 actually is, and then you will hear more about Battlefield 5 or V or whatever at E3 2018, which happens in a couple weeks.
So
That's
which
right.
one are you more excited for at this point? A potential new Battlefield or Call of Duty Black Ops 4?
Ask me next week after tomorrow's reveal, or ask me tomorrow after tomorrow's reveal.
I won't care by then.
I mean, okay, to answer Kyle's question, Battlefield 4 is a really good game. I'm not going to sit here and crap on it. It's actually a really good game. People are still playing it more than they are 3, obviously, because it's the newer one. People playing more, kind of on par with 1. But as far as 3, 4, 1, I was more a fan of 1. 4 is a good
4,
game.
you could have giant freaking battles. I mean,
4, my problem with 4 was the launch was kind of crappy. The launch and the servers were kind of crappy, but it got better and they fixed it to be a really good game. So I like 4.
All right.
All right. Let's take her home with some fun stuff. Nintendo Limited has applied for a Nintendo 64 trademark. Basically, the N64 Classic is coming, right, guys?
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah.
That's got to be
Nintendo 64 Classic has to. This is what has to be with this is the N64 Classic.
The only question for me in my mind is how much Rare is going to be on that.
Yep.
Right. Well, and maybe like we said. And
I think last week we were talking about this.
Yes.
Yep.
You know where I'm going to go with it. And if you want to talk about it more, you'll have to come back next Tuesday for our E3 Spectacular, because we do predictions for this year's E3, because we will do that as well.
Just get ahead of me. That's fine. Do whatever you want, Justin.
Well, anyway. But yeah, no, this if Nintendo wants to play nice with Microsoft, who owns Rare, you could see quite a bit of it. But I think it's funny because we were just talking about how the NES Classic is coming back out on June 29th. And, and obviously the SNES Classic has been out. And you're seeing that more and more on store shelves. You're seeing more stock of that. So hopefully they'll do this one right. Hopefully.
What did you call it? The SNES Classic? No, it's the SNES Classic. It's the
SNES.
It's
Get
the
out
Super
of here.
Nintendo. It's the SNES. It's the
SNES.
No.
Come on, it's
SNES. Do you say NES? Do you say NES?
No, it's the NES.
Yeah, that's exactly SNES.
No, it's SNES. I say NES when it comes to that character from the
awesome
Nintendo
character.
Power. Yeah, Ness was from Earthbound, right?
Earthbound. He's my favorite.
I'm thinking of
character.
Nestor. I'm thinking of Nestor from Nintendo Power.
It's SNES.
I find no, it's not. I watched the movie, the trailer for the video that showed the Xbox Adaptive Controller.
Oh yeah,
guys, this is really cool that they're doing this. So
feel good story.
So they were showing this at a Colorado hospital, and what it is basically, it looks like a turntable.
Kind of, yeah, with a bunch of plugins in the back.
Bunch of plugins for USB ports, and you can add buttons for a D-pad or a joystick or whatever you can for physically challenged individuals. If they have, cerebral palsy, if they have some condition that prevents them from playing games like we do, it's really cool. And I teared up a little bit. I'm like, this is really cool that Microsoft is doing this.
Yeah.
And it seems to be not only a good idea, but it works. Like, this stuff is not only practical, but it serves its purpose. And this gives you the warm fuzzies, right?
Yeah, 100%.
It's such an awesome thing for Microsoft to do, and really it's a very smart thing for them to do, because I think one market that people aren't really thinking to explore is not just how are the disabled going to be able to be brought into the art of video games, but as we age and we get older, our reflexes slow down. We're not able to press small buttons on a controller as well as we could in our youth. How are we going to keep an aging population that still wants to play games playing games? I'm getting older. I don't have any inkling to stop playing games in the next 15 to 20 years, but how am I going to be playing games when I'm 60? 70? I mean, should we have this expectation where, okay, you're 50 to 60 now, you should stop playing games?
Right.
No,
so.
I should stop driving, but I still want to play video games.
Right.
I got to do something while I'm not driving anywhere.
Right, exactly.
So, but it is a really cool controller.
Yeah, I think this is
seeing
a good
it in
first
action
step
is really
to
cool.
getting that untapped market. And if I had come up with the solution on how to reach that market, then I would have patented it and made money. But
you
Right.
first showed me a picture of that, and I said, "What? That's not a controller." Because it was just a blank slate that looks like a turntable. Maybe you want to play DJ Hero, but when you add the buttons and the wires and the joysticks and all the stuff, all the contraptions to it, that's when I went, okay, it clicked for me.
Yeah. So
sorry,
what it's designed
sorry
to do
bore
is,
you, Justin.
What it's designed to do is facilitate, because people with disabilities are always coming up with different ways to be able to play the game. They're coming up with different contraptions that allow them to work around the limitations of standard inputs. So what this controller does is it allows them to incorporate all of those different things that they've developed into this user experience. So what a forward thinking way. And I wish that they had saved this for, I had somebody who was I was chatting with about this, so I'll just kind of echo what they're saying. I wish that they had announced this at E3. This would have been a really different and a really cool way to close out the conference.
Sure.
Instead, we'll just have to go with Microsoft announces Half-Life 3 in a partnership with Valve.
Well, and even if they had just threw it in like in the middle of their show, what a touching moment that would have been. Like you said at E3 to have that video air at E3, and then you look around, there's not a dry eye in the house, and
they still might do that. They may still do something like that. They may still put a different video up.
I wouldn't be surprised if you see a slight demo.
Yeah, a live demonstration of it from somebody on stage.
I don't want to see a live demonstration of it on stage. I don't. You've talked about it already. That's fine. You're done. If you had saved it for E3 and just done the video presentation, would have been perfect. And then if you had unveiled like a new slogan for Microsoft, like for everyone. Xbox One for
this
everyone.
Is why we're friends. I was thinking that exact thing for everyone.
God dang, that would have been a goose pimple moment right there. That would have just been like, we won, won, Sony. It took us 5 years, but we won.
Xbox as one.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There we go. On top of the good stuff Microsoft's doing, they're partnering with Special Olympics USA because they're hosting the first ever video gaming tournament for Special Olympics, which I think is really cool. Nice. Because obviously they can do that because of this controller, but now they're going to be having Xbox gaming tournament for Special Olympics.
And that was announced today as well. So if you didn't know that, breaking news for you as well. So, but yeah, I mean, again, just continuing off talking about the adaptive controller, the fact that they're partnering with the Special Olympics, and I'll be really interested to see how this works, like what games they play, and to see what different setups people use, because you never know. Like I've seen in that one video that they showed the adaptive controller, you've seen I don't know, a handful of different ways to set up set it up. So I'm really interested to see kind of where they go with this and how they continue it.
For sure. Let's take this podcast on home. I mean, first of all, cool. Microsoft is doing great things in front of the camera, behind the camera. They're doing great things business-wise from top to bottom. So good on them. Sony's going to be pushing the envelope further with the PS5 in a couple years. Nintendo is still kicking ass. So it's kind of a good time to be a gamer right now. It's a really cool time to be a video gamer, and we'll find more out about the future of the electronic gaming at E3 2018. It's a couple weeks. Be sure to be joining us here on this podcast around the same time next week. It'll be a long podcast because we're going to be discussing our E3 predictions for every conference that's coming down the pipeline.
I think just the big three.
Okay.
Just the big three.
Okay.
Here we go. I've got some breaking, interesting news. Nintendo just announced a cheaper dockless configuration for the Switch coming to Japan.
Okay, that kind of takes one of my predictions for next week.
They beat you to it.
I was going to say that we're going to see within the next calendar year, a different version of the Nintendo Switch, either a dockless version or like where it's only a handheld as they start maybe phasing the 3DS out, or one that
they just put that patent out there for perhaps a handheld device.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying.
Though? Is this it?
Is this part of it? Could be. I have no idea. Or going the opposite way where it's only docked, for example, having it go either way, for example. So, well, there's one of my predictions for next week, but I'll come up with something.
You were that much ahead of the curve.
Yep. So either if you're watching this on Twitch or here on Facebook, we'll be here doing it next week, doing our big E3 prediction show. But guys, what are you playing right now? What's happening in your consoles or your PC? What's going on in your lives right now as we take this thing on home? Justin, go ahead first.
I played a lot of God of War. That's it.
Good job, boy.
I played a lot of boy. Come over here and read this, boy.
I love how they quote Kratos and just say, boy, 2018. Yeah. Great house.
Yeah. I love it. I played a lot of God of War Sunday night, especially. I'm quite a bit further in. I don't really, for spoiler purposes, I don't know where like everybody's at with it and everything that, but it's a really... I had some issues with it when I first started, but I'm really getting into it now. The combat's really starting to pick up, and it's a lot of fun. So yeah, I mean, God of War is all I've played since the last show. I ordered a PC or a laptop since the last show. It'll be here Friday, and I'm going to. I guess I did play 3 matches this one night randomly of Dead by Daylight. They're getting ready to celebrate their 2-year anniversary in June, and unveiling of a new pack, which looks to be around like a circus theme, either a ringmaster, a magician, or a clown. Not really sure the way it looks. I actually also I sent an email over to Behavior to see if somebody would be willing to do some sort of small interview or something with the dev, but I haven't gotten a response back. So fingers crossed on that. But that's really it. Those 2 games.
Anything happening from you at the nerdbacon.com?
I am, now that I finally got a couple things set up, I'm going to be doing my 5 knock your socks off predictions that would make me pull a Dave.
Whoa.
And leap out of my chair. Hint, there could be a 3rd game of a series in there once or twice. Also, I got a couple reviews that I've been working on. Those are still, like, I was working on them prior, but right now everything's just focused E3 going forward. So probably just going to talk about the 2 major ones I'm going to get out within the next week are going to be my big 5 that I would like to see, like kind of, that would make me jump out of my chair. And the other one is games that have disappeared since E3 of last year.
Snap.
All right, Dave, the Watchman, what are you playing right now? What are you doing? What's happening at Nerd Bacon?
Video game.
The Watchman.
I haven't really been playing much. I played a little bit of Splatoon 2 over the weekend for a little bit of time.
That game.
And Lauren and I sat down Saturday night and just took some time and played some Mario Kart 8. That was fun.
Hey!
Yeah, but otherwise I haven't had time to play anything, unfortunately. I'm wrapping up this move. I've got the new office all set up here.
Very nice.
Yeah, and I believe you guys are going to be... I think you're going to be in studio next week, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I was going to get to that.
Oh,
You also were booking our flights and our hotel to Vegas for EVO. We'll be covering that live at the scene.
Yes.
And you got some stuff happening in Nerd Bacon article-wise here as well.
That's right. As far as articles go, I'll be finally at some point putting the finishing touches on the Microsoft E3 2018 game plan. That'll be the first in my annual series covering Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony. So all 3 of those will be coming out here within the next couple of weeks in the lead-up to E3 2018.
Very nice. I have been waist deep into watching the Overwatch League.
Yes.
I got way into that. So
you picked the team.
I'm to go with the Houston Outlaws, man. I love their color scheme. I love their logo. I love what they got going on. I bought the Brigitte skin for the Houston Outlaws. It looks great. Tomorrow night, Houston versus the LA Gladiators. One of my good friends is a big Gladiators fan, so I'll be watching that. But they got me way into playing more Overwatch, and I'm like, you know what? I'm actually pretty good at playing as Brigitte or Lucio. So I've got some of my mains out there.
Lucio was my favorite when I played.
I do like to stream some Overwatch over at twitch.tv/JeffRoth.
On PC? Playing on PC?
I play on PC.
Okay. I may be
PC,
joining you then here soon.
PC Master Race. I also bought Ubisoft had a big spring sale recently, so I bought Watch Dogs 2 on PC. I bought Assassin's Creed Syndicate on PC. I bought Splinter Cell Blacklist on PC. I think I spent like under $60 for all 3 of those games.
Hang on, we got to give a shout out to Acidic Society for following. Thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Okay. Acidic, whatever he said. I'm sorry.
Acidic Society.
I said acidic.
You got it. I don't know what you said. I'm on Facebook, not Twitch.
Oh, all right.
Cheers.
Yeah. Acidic Society.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you.
But I've kind of been jumping around. I dove into the Humble Bundle, the multiplayer Humble Bundle, and I already have Rocket League, obviously, so I bought like Besieged and Hover and other games like that. So I'm trying those games out. Over at nerdbacon.com tonight. By the end of tonight, I will have 2 articles in the can. One will be my thoughts on the Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle trial, which is I played on the Switch, and so I got some time with Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle. So I'll give my thoughts and my live stream of that, as well as Justin Stole My Thunder. But I have 5 games that I would love to see at E3 this year that would just make me scream like a little girl, and just cry and weep and that. So that'll be up tonight as well. Now let's take it home. You can follow me on Twitter at JeffRoth and twitch.tv/JeffRoth. I stream about 4 or 5 times a week. A little bit of everything you'll find over there. Justin, go.
You can follow me on all the social medias at Level Up Justin, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you name it. I'm out there. Twitch and Mixer at the same. I have not been streaming as much lately, but you will see me more and more starting very shortly, because I will be flooding everyone's screens with Nerd Bacon goodness.
Watchmen!
You can find me at Dave the Watchman on Twitter, and someday soon I will stream again. Hopefully. No, someday, probably after E3, I will be streaming a little bit more.
We should do a Splatoon 2 stream.
I would love to do Splatoon 2 split.
Yes, please.
The big thing that I want to do is the Star Fox anniversary stream. I've been wanting to do that all year. It's the 25th anniversary of Star Fox. We've got Star Fox Grand Prix that they're going to show this year. I'm not excited for that, but yeah, at some point in the very near future, I'll put an ad out. I'll be streaming Star Fox, Star Fox 2, Star Fox 64, Star Fox Assault, and Star Fox Zero, all in one day. You will be.
What about Adventures?
Yes.
I'm not going to stream that one.
Okay.
It's not.
I was just
Star
curious.
Fox.
I know. I'm just curious.
Right.
Isn't it? Wouldn't it be funny if Retro gets ruined? After if Star Fox Grand Prix doesn't turn out good and Retro is like done, well, I don't know about done, but their reputation is tarnished, they would be the second studio to get dashed upon the rocks of Star Fox. It's the same thing happened to Rare.
They got Falcon punched in the nuts.
They got Falcon punched right in the nuts.
Different game, but whatever.
Well, they got Falco punched.
That's a quote we can take home with us. He got Falcon punched in the nuts. Thank you all for watching this episode of Level Up Lariat podcast here from nerdbacon.com. Be here next week, same time, 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern. Next week's a big one because we're going to dive into our big E3 predictions for the big 3, Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. What will we see at the biggest gaming convention of the year? Find out next week. For everyone here, my name is Jeff, a.k.a. Jeff Roth from nerdbacon.com.
I'm Dave the Watchman.
And I'm Level Up Justin.
And please game tasty, and we will see you here on Twitch and Facebook next week. Thank you for stopping by.
Good night, everyone.